Hello everyone, if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Jimmy Barkan. Been teaching hot yoga since 1981. Opened my first studio in 1983. Garuda. They named the eagle pose after this mythological creature, half human, half eagle. If you ever get to Indonesia or Australia, because Australia is just below Indonesia, they named their airline after the famous mythological creature. Indonesia is also Hindu, just like most of India. So I landed in Australia a few years ago, opened my window, and there was the plane. I took this picture a few years ago when I was in Adelaide. Shout out to all my Adelaide peeps. So we're gonna head to the studio for this episode, go over the modifications, amplifications, and all the bullet points that you need to be successful in this pose. So let's head over to the Fort Lauderdale studio and get started. So eagle pose. Let's talk about the modifications first, and let's talk about the arms first, because it's half the pose. Shoulders, elbows, and wrists, first part of the pose. If you're really tight, especially if you're super muscular and you can't get your hands together, what I don't want you to do is this. A lot of times teachers will tell you just to hold your shoulders. To me, I think that's just too passive. Nothing's really happening. If it's impossible for you to get your hands together, then you can use the strap. So watch Iulia, with the help of Iulia today. She's going to bring her right arm under, this way, and hold the strap. She's going to now turn her wrist this way to hold the strap. So now, with the strap, she's trying to open up the tension in the wrists, and the elbows, and the shoulders. It's going to be a lot more successful. Now, if we don't need the strap, what we can do, if still you can't get the hands real close together, she's going to bring her right arm under, and she can first just hold this thumb. Just by holding the thumb this direction, she's going to eventually start to get closer and closer with her hands. Because if you hold the thumb like this, nothing's really happening. You're really not able to go anywhere. But if you hold the thumb like this, eventually you can start to get the hands flat together. So that's the second modification, holding the thumb, and slow. You don't want to yank on it. Hold it gently, and then you slowly work your hands close to flat. So what you can also do is interlace your fingers at first, get them closer and closer, and then open them flat. Don't start the pose with your fingers interlaced. It's just a beginning modification. So I'm going to have Iulia face the side here. So what she's going to do is, to begin the pose, she's going to squat down. And by squatting down, she's going to soften her IT bands, the sides of the hips, and then she's going to bring her right leg over. So let's say you can't get that foot around the other side of the calf muscle. You're just going to balance here with the foot, with the knee pointing to the left, this top knee pointing left, and then the foot will eventually start working its way around to the right. So you balance there, slowly working that foot behind you. And then slowly that foot works around the other side of the calf muscle. You can see the big toe on the other side of the calf muscle. But she's going to go, like we did in the aqua pose. You can go back to the tutorial in this video, and you can see if we go forward a little bit, that gets us a little lower. And without coming up, bring the body back so the back is straight. Tailbone actually is going to turn down. Also, again, like the tutorial in the aqua pose, we don't want to arch the lower back. We're going to scoop it and bring the body backward in that position. Now, once the foot is hooked, we're going to bring the top knee to the center, to the right, so it comes under the elbows. I'm going to show you that angle in a second. But we're going to close the gap off between the ankle. So push the top of this foot against the back of the leg. So there's no space between the ankle and the big toe down to the other side of the ankle, and the knee comes into the center. So that cuts the gap off between the knees and the ankles. Now we magically have turned to the center. So Iulia's going to do the pose facing the front. So let's do the left side. She brings her left arm under. Sister squats down. That's going to soften the IT bands, the sides of the hips. Left leg over. And now as she brings her knee to the left, it's going to come underneath the elbows. So she's going to sit down a little bit more. So now you can see the elbows are right underneath, or the knees are right underneath the elbows. As she brings her knee to the left, she brings her upper body to the right in another direction. That's an opposite direction, but very slight. Upper body back, tailbone under. Now, in almost every single pose we do, we get a look at the symmetry. We're one of the few styles of yoga that have a full-length mirror. We're looking at that mirror, and we're hopefully making corrections on ourselves. So if you're doing this practice at home, I highly recommend you get a full-length mirror so you can make your own corrections. Now I'm going to have Iulia do the eagle pose on the right side. So let's say you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're doing this pose. And let's say this shoulder is too high. It's easy to bring the higher shoulder down. And if this hip is too low or too far back, it's easy to bring the lower hip up. So higher shoulder down, lower hip up. And now you can make your own corrections. You want to be doing that to yourself all the time. And now for the advanced amplification, if you've got a full position, you can start trying this. You can get that foot hooked around, and you can get down nice and low, try the advanced position. Iulia's going to do it on her right side. The key is you're going to focus on your legs more than your arms. That's going to be better balance. The arms will come naturally and go slow. So watch Iulia. Here she goes. Arms overhead. Nice and slow. Boom. There it is. Perfect position. That's the advanced amplification. And that is the eagle pose. So that's our episode for today. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends. Any comments that you have or questions or struggles, put them down below in the comments. I get to all of them, and smash that like button. And I thank you for joining me, and I'll see you the next video. Bye, everyone.